In this next example, we're going to use a point that we know is on a line to solve for some unknown parameter, some unknown piece in our equation. So here we have an equation in general form, 2x plus by plus 7 equals 0. And in this case, we know a and c for general form. We know it's a is 2 and c is 7, but we don't know what b is yet. So we couldn't graph this line if we wanted to. But one thing we do know is that this line goes through the point 4, -5. And if you remember from a few lessons back, or a few videos back, that if I know that a point is on a line, if I'm told that a point is on a line, that means that with confidence I can take the x and y coordinates for that line and substitute them into my equation. So it's on that basis that we're going to do a substitution in this problem and solve for b. So because I know 4, -5 lies on my line, I put 4 in for x, -5 in for y, and I know this will work out. Okay, and again, the only reason I can do that is because I know that point is on the line. If I didn't know that, I could not do this. Right? I would maybe hope it worked, and maybe if it was a random point and things worked out nicely and I graphed it afterwards and checked that it made sure it went through that point, then maybe I get lucky. But you run a risk in doing that. If you know a point goes through the line, or if you know the line goes through a point, then you can put the points in for x and y. But if you don't know that, you run a risk substituting x and y for 4 and -5, or for the x and y coordinates. So just watch out for that. So if I do the substitution, I end up with 2 times 4 minus 5b. That would just be -5 times b is -5b. Plus 7 equals 0. This becomes 8 minus 5b plus 7 equals 0. I add the 8 and the 7 together. Oops. Yeah, I'd bring the 15 over. Divide both sides by -5. And b will equal 3. Right? So now I've found this unknown parameter here. It is 3. So the actual equation of my line would be 2x plus 3y plus 7 equals 0. And you could graph to check. I'm not going to do that, but just to give yourself some assurance that this is actually correct, you could turn this equation into slope-intercept form by solving for y, and ensure yourself, or make sure for yourself, that this goes through 4, -5. Okay, that would prove to us that we've actually found the correct value of b, so that the graph goes through 4, -5.